Welcome to the Draw Shop's Get Genius podcast, where we talk to today's business influencers to pick their brain and pull out their genius. It's time to get genius.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Get Genius episode. Today, we are going to talk some Instagram, and we've been talking a lot of social media and digital marketing with a lot of our guests, and obviously, I'm a big fan of it because it works, and I like to get different perspectives from different masters at these channels, and today, we're talking with an Instagram genius. He's from the Dominican Republic, and he actually started out unlike most of the entrepreneurs that I interview. A lot of the entrepreneurs I interview have that entrepreneurial thing going on. Like when they're a kid, you know, they have the businesses that they start up at 5 years old and 10 years old, and then all of a sudden at 22, they've got their own real money-making business, and they become an expert at something. So that's not all of them. Everyone has a different story, but I do notice that a lot of entrepreneurs have that kind of similar vein of knowing that they were going to be doing something entrepreneurial at a young age. Well, our guest today is a little bit different, but he's freaking rocking it as an entrepreneur today. And he was born and raised in a third world country of Dominican Republic, and he was graduating from electromechanical engineering school, and he got his master's degree. And while he was doing that, he saw an opportunity in social media to break the norm in a country where there is very little progress. And after making like a little bit of money doing what he was doing, he decided that he needed to be doing something else. And after 4 years of trying to do things his way and totally failing, he decided to make a better choice and look at social media and see what he could do to make money that way. And he was seeing what other people were doing, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take that model and follow it. And so through that experience, he didn't land like, you know, this amazing Instagram genius overnight and like have all this insight overnight. It took a lot of mistakes to figure out how he could actually master this whole game, if you will, of social media. So he developed a simple 4-step process, which he goes through during the show, and it's really cool, and we have it outlined for you in our blog and show notes. But just really take a listen to all of the details in all of those steps, because they're pretty important. And he's basically grown to over 4 million followers in multiple accounts and across multiple niches, because his process really works for any kind of industry, and we'll talk about that as well. So listen out for tips on your Instagram story, how many times you should post, what you should be doing on live, how to get people prepped and looking out for you to go live, what kind of posts you should be putting out there, how you should be conducting yourself to keep people really engaged. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff. You might even hear me scribbling notes during the interview, so I apologize for that, but I had to. It was awesome. He had so many great pieces of advice. And I don't think I've given you his name yet. By the way, his name is Josue Pena. So I'm just like going on and on about him, and I haven't even said his name, but that's his name. I just got so excited about what he does. He's awesome. You already know his name if you clicked on the podcast link, but Josue Pena, and I hope I'm doing it justice. As a Puerto Rican, you'd think I'd say it right, but I still don't know if I am. Anyways, he's got an adorable accent, super fun. I love accents if you've been listening to me. Anyways, we'll talk about all the cool stuff. Like, how many followers is that tipping point? Like, how many followers do you need to have, and how much engagement before you actually have brands starting to reach out to you to say, hey, I want to give you some bucks to just mention my product? all that kind of stuff. Like, what is influencer marketing? How can you use that to your advantage? How can you become an influencer? It's all Instagram related. He doesn't even talk about Facebook because he says he's not that great at Facebook. But guess what? He's amazing at Instagram. That's what's so cool. So you'll learn a whole bunch of good stuff here. So he's got a ton of followers. A little bit more about him is his business now is generating 6 figures, soon to be 7. And I invited him back on the show when he hits that because I know he will in no time. But he's been featured and interviewed by lots of different magazines. He's been on lots of podcasts. He's promoted by Grant Cardone and his team. He's been on their TV show a few times. He's met and worked with celebrities like Neo. He has followers like Kobe Bryant and like all kinds of cool people. It's kind of fun. I get excited about that stuff. Anyways, he's got like big time entrepreneurs that endorse him. And if you actually go to his LinkedIn profile, you'll see all the cool people that endorse him. And we talk about it on the show as well. So if Instagram is something that you're thinking like, I don't know for sure if this is right for my industry or my business, I think that this show will disprove that. I think it will also help you understand why it's so effective for branding and for actual sales and for engagement and for getting other type of influencers that are similar in your industry to be on board and to help promote you as well. So there's a lot of really good golden nuggets that you will walk away with. It is in the show notes as well. So he's really good about just outlining, here are the things to do, here's how to do it, here's the 4-step process. You can literally just start applying that stuff now. So have a good listen. I would listen all the way through if I were you, because there's some free giveaways at the end. You'll find out how to get in contact with him, Facebook groups to join, to be part of the community and talk about ideas and what's working for other people that you can apply. So lots of really good stuff. I really do encourage you, if you're not doing Instagram and if you're limiting yourself to just a couple of channels, I really encourage Instagram. We're about to get pretty hardcore on our Instagram efforts, just because it's been a conversation that we've been having for a long time. And now it's like, all right, we're pulling the trigger. So follow us too on Instagram to see what we're doing there. And I'm talking a long time. I'm just really excited about Josue, and I think you're gonna love it. Enjoy. Hello, Josue, and thank you for being on the show with me today.
Well, thank you, Summer. Thank you for having me. It's really an honor, and yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. You have such an interesting background, and you do some really kick-ass stuff with Instagram, and you're just like blowing it up. So I'd love to first start with why this became something that you wanted to do. How did the journey to what you're doing today begin?
Yeah. So I usually say that like my journey, like, an online business and entrepreneurship kind of started like differently than most people. I got into social media because I wanted to become a professional soccer player. That was yeah. It's kind of like out of the norm, I would say.
Yeah.
So I lived in Dominican Republic. That was where I was born and raised and lived most of my life. And my dream, like my passion is football or soccer, and that was my goal. And I was like, my train of thought was, if I don't get myself out there, nobody will find me, and I will never get the opportunity to make it to the pros, right? So that's kind of like how I started, and it was rough. Like I was like struggled for 4 or 5 years, completely broke. Like nothing was working for me. And I'm an engineer as well, so I was making like $300-$400 a month as an engineer.
Oh my gosh!
And yeah, like barely anything. And like I just kept going, and like I would say about 1.5 years ago, I decided to take, traditional business knowledge. I was hearing Russell Brunson, Mitchell Harper. I was going through my master's degree as well. And I decided to take traditional business knowledge like model success, market research, all these little things, and apply it to Instagram, and it exploded. And right now I have over like 4.5 million followers on Instagram. Like I've been able to work
4.5 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been able to work like with really big entrepreneurs in the space, and like even like I even met, I don't know if you know who he is. His name is Ronaldinho. He's one of he's a god in like the soccer world, like football world. I was able to work with him, meet him in Miami as well, promoting his app and all that good stuff. And funny enough, I did get the chance to become a pro about 6 months in, after things started kicking off, and I said no. I get the chance, and I said no because I saw more opportunity in the social media and the online business space. So yeah, that's kind of like as a general broad thing, how it got started.
Okay, so I'm sure it didn't just instantly blow up overnight with social media and Instagram. So how did that even begin? How did you what were the beginning phases, and then what were you learning that was working?
Yeah. It was horrible in the beginning. It was like all my family and friends were like, "Oh, get a real job! Like stop freaking posting little images on Instagram. Like nobody's seen that stuff." And like that was for 4 or 5 years that happened, and the reason why it wasn't working was because I wasn't like modeling success. It's just as simple as that. I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna do it my way. My way is so awesome that everybody's gonna like it. And the market was telling me, like everybody was like, the market was telling me, no, your content sucks. Like your distribution strategy sucks. And so that was kind of like what happened at the beginning. And it was hard because, like you're making $300-400 a month as an engineer. All your other people who you graduate with are making like a lot more than that. And it's all because you're trying to do this thing on the side. Because if you do get a full blown job, like you won't have time to do this. So it was hard, and now like it's kind of like reverse. So like they see me and they're like, "Oh my god, like I don't want to be stuck to this 9 to 5." I'm like, "Well, you remember when I was struggling 4 or 5 years ago? You should have joined me."
Yeah.
So it was hard. It was hard at the beginning. It's like a lot of sleepless nights, like maybe being made fun of, basically all your friends. Being that broke, like literally, like a single penny that they have, like everything was in expenses. Like it was literally just gas money and food, and that was it. Like I didn't have any money left. So it was tough. It was tough, definitely.
So how did this then turn into a business? Were you making money off of your own audience first, and then realizing this is what I could do for other people? Like, how did that all play out?
Yeah, so it wasn't like that. Like at the beginning, it was all about the followers. I was just focused on followers, and I'm like, okay, I can get brand promotions, I can get sponsorships, and which is true. And I started getting those, and I'm like, well, there's not much money here. Like I need to figure something else out. And I was going through. I started learning more marketing. I started learning sales funnels and all these different things, right? And I started implementing. I was seeing that the amount of traffic that I was able to get for free, it was a lot. Right. So that's how I monetize. I monetize like basically the audience, like through affiliate marketing and selling my own products and services as well, on different industries. Cause like I have, pages on, let's say, art and fitness and like even in Spanish as well. So, pages on various niches, all across the board, and each of them is monetized. And that's basically how I was able to do it. Monetizing the current audience that I have instead of like depending on another company or a brand that pays me in order to promote them. Right. So that's kind of like how I did it. And like, I'm still learning. Obviously, like I'm not the best marketer in the world. I'm really good at Instagram and driving traffic. That's what I'm great at. But like in less than a year, I've been able to grow multiple 6-figure business, which is, great. So especially coming like from nothing.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome. Now my goal is in the next year to break 7 figures. So we'll see.
That's so cool. So let's talk about branding. Like you were talking about opportunities for when people come out and want to pay you to talk about their brand.
Yeah.
At what point do you have to be if with your Instagram account to actually get those type of offers, or do you go out and pursue that?
Yeah. So obviously if they come to you, you have leverage because they came to you. So you can like, have a lot more leverage and negotiate a lot better. But at the end of the day, it's all about, let's say if you're doing a brand deal or a sponsorship or a promotion, it's all about the value that you bring to the other person, that they understand, and that they understand that it's a lot more than just a post. Because as entrepreneurs, we think Facebook ads, we put $1 in, $2 out, right? But Instagram is a lot different. Instagram is like branding. It's a lot more about branding. And once the branding is nailed down, then sales come in through no problem. Like there's a reason why, for example, companies like Gymshark or Alphalete or Shreds or One Up Nutrition, or all these different companies. I'm very involved in the fitness space, by the way. Okay. So now those are all like fitness companies. They've been able to grow like at ridiculous heights. Like Gymshark grew to $100 million a year in 4 years, and it was all through social media and Instagram and influencer marketing. So their branding is really powerful. So once you are able to, once the brand understands, okay, I'm paying, like, let's say this influencer, or they come to me and they understand, okay, first branding, we need to get the message across. We need to deliver value to that audience. Then it becomes profitable in the back end. And it won't become profitable in the first time around, because people don't know you, like you, or trust you, like in terms of, the brand. So the time needs to be there in order to that audience to get warmed up, to know, like, trust in order to buy. So that's basically kind of like on the line in terms of when a company, let's say, comes to me and wants to do a brand deal or a sponsorship, or if they want to do like with any other influencer in the space, like, you need to first understand it's all about branding, building building the trust with that current audience in order for them to know the brand, trust the brand, and then finally buy from them if they bring the value.
Right. So what are the numbers looking like at how many? And of course, I would imagine it has to be actual engaged followers, correct? It can't just be like you have 1 million followers, but they don't really. Yeah, people have to actually be like liking and commenting and all of that. So at what number do people start seeking you out?
Yeah. So people start seeking you out. I would say it's harder for people to seek you out. But if you have amazing content, they will seek you out. Even I would say, let's say 100,000 followers, it's a tipping point where I've seen a lot of different influencers and people just getting bombarded with brand deals, right? 100,000 followers. Now that's a stretch for most people. Most people are not in that mark, but I would say that I've seen people with even less than 10,000 followers being able to get brand deals. Now, brand deals are great in sponsorships, but in my opinion, I would much rather monetize my own audience. Obviously, you want to have a different revenue stream, so that's a possibility. But if you're not monetizing your current audience, then you will never be able to monetize that audience versus against the brand. Meaning, when a brand comes to you and says what the number looks like, you will not be able to have any data because you don't know. So my recommendation is always start giving value and monetizing the current audience you have. Let's say you have 10,000 followers. Well, monetize that. I have students and people I work with less than 10,000 followers that are making over $5,000 a month, or $4,000 or $5,000 a month on Instagram. And it's all because they provide value to their audience. They connect on a one-on-one level and they just sell, right?
Right.
So if they're able to do that, and then a brand sees that, okay, this guy has 10,000 followers, but he's making $4,000 a month from that audience. Well, okay, I can definitely pay $500, $1,000 for a post or a promotion, a campaign, because that ROI is going to be there in the long run. Right. So, and the audience is already trusting them. They're already paying that, they're already giving their money to the influencer. So that's the way I would go about it. So first monetize the audience, even with a small one, right? And then, present the offer or present the value that you're bringing to the table, to the brand deal or to the brand, to the promotion, to the campaign, because the numbers are already there and you know them.
So how have you successfully gained so many followers? Are you paying for it? Is it all organic, or is it a mix of both?
Yeah, so it's organic. That's something I should have said at the beginning. I had to figure out the organic way, because I didn't have money. I was making $300, $400 a month. I didn't have any money to invest in this thing. So what I did was it all comes down to four pillars. What I decided to call the 4 pillars of Instagram. And it's all about content, consistency, market research, and networking. Even to this day, that's the only 4 things that if you're able to do them, your audience will grow extremely quickly. So, it's simple as that: content, consistency, market research, and networking.
Nice. So you have a 4-step process, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that process? Is that something you can reveal? Okay, awesome.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I'm all about providing value and over delivering as well. So I'll give away the farm here.
Awesome.
So like, for example, let's just start with the first one, content. So we all know content is king. Without great content, you will get nowhere. And content is what keeps people engaged, especially on Instagram. Instagram is extremely visual. If your content is not visually appealing, you will get nowhere. So your content needs to be great. So I mean, people understand that. So we can move on to the first pillar. Now it becomes a question how many times I should post, how consistent should I should be, and consistency, the second pillar, I would say is if people start implementing, they will see literally success or start their numbers will start going up overnight. And it's simple math, right? If you have been posting 1 time per day and you're getting 1,000 impressions, if you start posting 4 times a day, you will get 4,000 impressions, right? It's pretty simple. So the more impressions you get, the more you grow, the more people will see you. People are not on Instagram 24/7. And if you're trying to reach, let's say, a global audience, you got to be posting across multiple time zones in order to reach different people, right? Let's say if you're a local business, right? Because I also work with local business. Just post in the current time zone that your audience is my week. But think, okay, when is my audience on Instagram itself? Is it maybe they just woke up 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and they're before they're going to work? Are they on Instagram? Or maybe at 3 p.m. or 12 when they are lunch? Maybe after they get out of work at 6, right? So you got to be thinking, when is your audience on Instagram? And Instagram tells you this analytics as well. So it's pretty Instagram tells you how when people are on Instagram, when your followers are there. So being consistent and posting more than 1 time per day is really crucial because you're able to reach more people. And now the Instagram algorithm is not chronological anymore. So if you want to be on the top of people's feeds and on their face as much as possible, you got to be posting more. So that's, pillar number 2. Pillar number 3, I would say it's the most essential one in terms of exploding and building the foundation in order to understand how the market works or how your industry works on Instagram. And it was my pivoting point personally because it took me from I was a thousands followers on Instagram. It took me to 10,000 followers a month at the very first month. And then it kept going and blowing up that way from there. So, yeah. And market research is pretty simple, knowing your influencers, your competitors, knowing what's working for them, and just modeling success. And this applies whether you're a brand or a personal brand. Let's say you want to become yourself famous. This works either way. So let's say you have an e-com store and you're selling, hammocks, right? So you will go and find other travel, you're probably in the travel industry, and you will find other travel influencers and competitors who are in the same space and seeing what content they're posting. So you will see the bio. What does the bio look like? The logo, the profile picture. Do they have a call to action in the bio? Meaning they're click link here to get X, right? Then you look at the content. Is it more pictures? Is it more video? Is it a mix of both? Or what does the caption look like? Is it long? For example, New York, Humans of New York. They have long-term blogs almost in their Instagram. And it's because they're telling a story and stuff like that. Or is it more short and sweet to the point? You have maybe a funny picture and you're tag a friend who was like this or something, right? So, and then staying consistent with that same style of content because people will get used to that style of content. And if you, for example, if you're writing short captions and then change it out of the sudden and start writing long, at the beginning, people are going to be like, what the heck? What is this spam? Right. So being able to understand how the market works in that sense is important. And then knowing how those captions affect the audience in terms of emotional response. So how is that audience reacting to that call to action specifically? So let's say you find an influencer that the call to action was, tag a friend who might like this or something. Right. And then you see a lot of people tagging, then okay, this content with this call to action worked extremely well. But if you don't see anybody tagging their friends, then you're okay, this content did not work with that call to action. So it might not be something I want to do. So once you understand, once you see what's working for influencers and when you're influencers and competitors, it becomes really easy to just model it. Right. If it worked for them, it will work for you. And the influencers, the difference between the influencers and the competitors, influencers are people like 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, people who are huge in your industry. Competitors are people who are more closer to you. And the people who you're going to network, aka the fourth pillar, networking, here in a little bit. And once you're able to, apply this stuff, like you will grow no matter what. Like there's no questions, 100%, you will grow. So pillar number 4, then we go to networking, which I would say is the gasoline on the fire. With like the foundation of the first 3. The first 3 are kind of like the foundation. You understand what content works, how the market works, what industry you're in, how their audience is reacting, what call to actions to use. And then we go into the networking, which is kind of like hacking the algorithm or growth hacking it. And this took me a while to understand. So hopefully your audience doesn't are able to keep up with what I'm going to say now. But the algorithm basically promotes content that it thinks people are going to engage with. It's pretty simple, right? So the way we growth hack that is by going, let's say, to our competitors or influencers are in the same industry as us, because we already know that their audience is going to be interested in our stuff. Again, we're in the same industry, right?
Right.
So what we do is we tell them, we ask them, right, to like and comment or whatever in our pictures. Now, these are called, some people call it engagement groups, like other people call it power likes. The name doesn't matter. So the goal here is to create 2 ripple effects in the Instagram algorithm. So let's say I have an Instagram page with 100,000 followers, and you have an Instagram page with 100, right, or 1,000.
Yeah.
And we're in the same industry. What happens is that when I like and comment on your picture, it tells Instagram that a high authority account just liked and commented on your picture. So 100,000 followers is quote unquote a high authority account. The bigger the follower amount and the more engaged the audience like that account is, the better.
Okay.
So it tells, okay, this content is good because this account just liked it, high authority. So I'm gonna put it up so more people can see it, because this content is great. And at the end of the day, Instagram also makes its money, and the only way it makes its money is by keeping people on the platform. And the only way they keep people on the platform is by showing content to that audience that they think is going to blow up. So,
so is this where the importance of like hashtags come in as well?
Yeah. So backing up, I forgot about that part. So yeah, hashtags are important. Hashtags are important. Like in the market research, you like the hashtags that your competitors and influencers are using. You will see what hashtags they're using, and then you can model that way. The hashtags are like keywords, just like on Google, right?
Yeah.
On Google, that and it allows it tells Instagram what your content is about. You would not, like, for example, if you have a relationship page and you use hashtag love, you will never rank in it because it has 2 billion users. No. In order to rank there, you need like 10,000 likes in like 2 hours or something. I don't know. So it's better to use small hashtags or keywords that you can rank in, because first it tells Instagram what your content is about, and then people are going to see it more. So that's basically kind of like the underline when it comes to like the hashtags. And let's say you start implementing this networking, the growth hack part, then you would start ranking higher in the hashtag, and it becomes like a snowball effect. Instagram search me up here, I start ranking higher in the hashtags, more people see it, more people start liking and commenting. And because of that, then it starts ranking higher in the algorithm as well. So that's kind of like the basic underline of, the ripple effect, like the snowball effect, basically, of what happens. The other thing that happens as well is when I like and comment on your picture, again, we're in the same industry. I have 100,000 followers, and my 100,000 followers are going to see your post and your content on their phones and their Explorer feed. So that's probably like one of the most powerful things, because I'm showing your content to them with a simple like. And since we're in the same industry and you already know what content works and you already know that your content is great and your call to actions are great, when my audience sees your content, they're going to like, comment, share, follow as well. So that's kind of like the underline, and combining those like little pieces, like for example, the hashtags and in the networking part, and knowing what content to post, how to present like the content to your audience, what call to actions, be consistent with it, you will blow up like ridiculous level. Like I know people that are growing like 5,000 followers a day or 10,000 followers a day. just by doing this stuff. So it's powerful.
It's so exciting. Like, I bet it's so much fun just to get on your accounts and see what's happening each day. It's no wonder Instagram is so addicting. It's addicting for the content, but then of course with who is engaging with you, and then when you can make money off of it, it's so awesome. So I there's some businesses or entrepreneurs that will say, yeah, Instagram is really just for lifestyle stuff, or it's just for fitness businesses or celebrities. What is your take on that? Like, can any industry be taking advantage and leveraging Instagram, or is it really more specific to certain industries?
Yeah. So unless you're selling elevators to hospitals, you can be an Instagram. Like I wouldn't say on every industry, but I've been like on really weird ones as well, like working with clients. Like I've sold mini pigs, like the pigs, like through Instagram. Yeah. And like each pig is a freaking $3,000 to $5,000. Like, so, and there was like selling through a
page. Are they really that much?
Yes. Like I was surprised. I was like, really? People buy this stuff?
They are awfully cute.
Yeah, I get it, but like they're cute in video. I wouldn't have a mini pig in my, like that's just me though, right? But like they were selling from a 30,000 follower page, and then I worked like in the gun niche that I never thought like, I thought like it was like kind of taboo or whatever, but people love guns and like weapons and stuff, and like it works really well on Instagram as well. So I worked on a lot of weird. And even like, for example, in different languages as well, like I have accounts in Spanish and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. And it works extremely well as well. So it all comes down to how you present, let's say, your content to your audience. If you have, if your company does X, let's say insurance, right? It's one of like how can you make insurance sexy, right? Like insurance sounds super boring. Like insurance, okay. How can you make insurance sexy, like appealing, like visually appealing? Like how can you deliver value on that? Like maybe you have tips on how to save money on insurance, right? And then your account, instead of just focusing on insurance, then it becomes how to save money page or how to become a better financial person, like how to allocate your money better, right? So and you're delivering value that way, and then your back end offer is insurance. Okay, this insurance helps you save money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it becomes to how can you make your company or your offer or your product or your service sexy in terms of visually appealing and deliver value in that way.
Right.
So most, I would say, like, I wouldn't say all because I don't want to like, generalize, but I would say 90 to 95 to 99% of almost every single thing, like every single industry, you can put it on Instagram. If you can put it on a website and you can get traffic from Google and Facebook ads and stuff like that, you can put it on Instagram. I will say that.
Okay. Awesome. So now there's so many new things with Instagram. I mean, some of them aren't new, but there's always like new stuff that comes out with social media. And now, Instagram Live is a big thing. And then the stories are huge. And stories are so much fun.
Yeah.
I love it. They're fun to create and they're super fun to watch, and they're really short. So how can you leverage stories and Instagram Live? And is that like what would you say is the really good like ratio of how much you're doing of each versus like video posts, live stories, and then just regular picture posts, and even boomerang, like all of that? Like, is there like a certain amount you should be doing of each? What's your advice?
So I would say it's all about you. Like, what do you feel more comfortable with, right? I would say that everybody needs to be doing Instagram stories, not necessarily live. Like live is powerful as well, especially now that with dual live, you can bring somebody else, like from your audience, you can bring them on the actual live. That's super cool.
Yeah.
And you connect with your audience at a really one-to-one level. So I would say, for example, let's just call it you posting 3 to 6 times per day on your account, depending on your account, obviously. Let's say like normal posts. So that can be either pictures or videos. It depends on your industry. Some industries are more target, like they ship more towards pictures or videos, or sometimes both. But 3 to 6 posts per day, I would say there. Like when it comes to the story, depending on how you have, let's say, crafted your audience, if they're used to, they want to see you, and you're engaging. At the end of the day, you got to be good on camera, all right?
Yeah.
Like you cannot be boring on Instagram, so like, hey guys, I'm here. My name is Josue, and I'm super excited to bring you today's story. Like, no, like you got to be energetic. Like people have short attention spans, especially on Instagram. Like, yeah, exactly. So usually, for example, I start the first Instagram story. I start with like quote unquote bang, right? I have emojis and telling people to turn their sound up, like their sound up, because sometimes they're on the phone and they're not hearing what I'm saying. So if I say, for example, if I ask a question on the actual Instagram story, I also type it in the Instagram story, because sometimes people might not hear you well or whatever. They don't have their sound turned on, but they can read it, right? And they can reply to you and they can engage in that way. So at the end of the, it's all about let's say crafting a story on Instagram stories. And let's say you have, again, let me see. Well, okay, let me ask you, what industry do you want me to use as an example on Instagram story?
So let's do the fitness industry.
Okay. All right. So fitness, let's say you're a fitness trainer and you do, I don't know, weight loss, right? So what I will do is have a day a week, or kind of like a show, right? So let's say Motivation Mondays, that's super simple. Motivation Mondays, right? And on Monday you talk about the struggles about being consistent with losing weight and stuff like that, and little tips and 3 tips on how to be consistent and be motivated to lose weight or whatever. That's on Monday, right? You create a full story on that alone. It takes you let's just say you do I don't know, a 7 post or 7 to 10 Instagram story. That's 70 to 100 seconds, or if it's 10 seconds, you can do it to 15. But between 70 and let's say 140 seconds takes you to create this story, and that's it. It stays for 24 hours, and people will engage with you. You can create polls as well. You can put polls and ask your audience. That's I would say polls is one of my favorite updates on the Instagram story thing, because now you can pre-frame your audience if you have an offer, and you can even ask your audience if they're interested in even buying something. So they will say yes, they will say no, they will engage with you, and that's a super simple way to do so. So let's say you do that on Monday, then on Tuesday you do something else, and then on Wednesday you have, I don't know, a happy hump day, right? Squats or something. And then you talk about, squats are great for losing weight, and then you give 3 tips on squats and why you should do them. Boom, Instagram stories as well. And then you showcase, for example, when you're working out and doing your squats and stuff like that. So Instagram stories becomes personal. People need to think of them as another way of content to engage with your audience and not overthink it. But at the same time, nobody cares about your cat. Okay.
Right.
So if you cannot put if you have a fitness page and it's all about weight loss and stuff like that, don't put a picture of your cat there. People are going to be what the heck is this? Why would I care about your cat? So it's about creating with purpose. Instagram is all about that, creating with purpose, not just creating and putting it out there just to put it out there, but creating with purpose. So what does your cat have to do with weight loss? Maybe you're underlying, you can put a picture of the cat, but say this, your cat is laying on the floor and is a fat cat. You can say, don't be like this fat cat. He sleeps all day long and is fat. Go out to the gym and work out and be, and build a bikini body or whatever, right? So you use the cat. You use your fat cat, as a way to, then we focus on this fitness weight loss thing. So, and it's all about how you present the content in an engaging way. That content might work extremely well and people will love it. It just might be funny, So it's all about that. And then, for example, with Instagram Live, you can now bring your audience. I did it also the other day, and your audience loves it, absolutely loves it. And what I'll do is I'll create first an Instagram story, let's say an hour before I go live, telling telling the people that I'm going live. Then I'll create a post, a few hours before, telling people I'm going to go live and telling people I'm going to talk about X. And then I talk about X.
So they're prepared to log in and know, and then they'll get that notification and they'll be cool. So he's going to be live right now, and then you can start talking to them because you see them as they, who's joined and who's viewing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And what I'll do is I'll tell people, okay, where are you watching from? That way people can start engaging right away and commenting, from here, and then you start saying, hello from Spain, or hello from United States, or hello from New York. That way people are he's saying what's up to me. And then let's say what I'm doing now, every single live that I do is I'm bringing somebody on from the audience. So whatever value that you're providing, let's just say the fitness example as well. So fitness, weight loss, you're talking about 3 tips or 5 tips on how to lose weight without giving up ice cream, right? Like are you talking about, 5 tips on how to lose weight without giving up ice cream? You boom, and then you bring somebody on from the audience. And what I'll do is, now let's do this. Who wants to come today's live to do this Q&A live with me, and I'll help you with your particular weight loss journey. And then people are going to be coming to me. And one of the things that you need to make sure is to tell them you got to be comfortable on camera, meaning like put your face behind, like, because I have people jump and they like put their finger in the camera so I cannot see them. And it's like super weird. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, you gotta make sure the audience first understand that part. And then you bring them on and like, it becomes like fun. Like they love it. The other, like everybody else is seeing this stuff and it's super engaging. And also another thing that you can do on Duo Live is bring another influencer. Because now what happens is when you go live with another person, that the person's followers also get the notification that person is live. So you can collaborate as well. So let's say, you and me, like say we're doing this Instagram live and we both have, 10,000 followers, right? So we go live together and do a live, right? And your 10,000 followers get the notification you're live, and my 10,000 followers get the notification that I'm live, but we're together in here, this Instagram live. So it becomes like, we all like, I don't know if your audience knows the power of webinars, but webinars are super powerful, and Instagram Live, it's just that. So I love them. And now I think yesterday Instagram rolled out another update. They're being crazy with the updates with highlights from Instagram stories. So you can have, let's say you did this Instagram story and it was like super fun, and you can put it as a highlight on your accounts for people to see.
Oh, so, I have not seen that yet. That's
Yep.
super cool. Okay, highlights. So, wow, there's like so much good stuff. I'm like scribbling notes here as we go. How is it that you work with people now? Like, how are you, and what kind of clients are you working with?
Yeah. So, I preferably, my easier clients, I would say, is just like online businesses, because it becomes extremely easy in terms of, building the audience and that kind of stuff. But I've worked also with like restaurants and local businesses as well. And I basically, with them, I do three things. I offer 3 things. So a done for you solution, that's always, so I take care of everything, like the management side of things and stuff like that. And you got to do the Instagram story though. Like, unless you want me to be the face of your brand,
right, and
be stuck forever with me, like like you don't want that. So like people need to do the Instagram story themselves. So that's the only thing that I cannot. Obviously, I can do this Instagram story. Just say this, craft the offer this way, and stuff like that. Obviously, I do help with that. But the done for you solution is taking over the entire management of your account and stuff like that. Then let's say somebody can't afford that part. We do have consulting where we work on a one-to-one basis, a one-to-one level, with your accounts and help blow it up that way. Or some businesses are like, no, I want to train my staff. I have stuff like that. And then we do offer the training as well. So we do have like those 3 things. And I work like selling, digital products, selling services, selling physical products, selling affiliates. It's all over the board. So Instagram works extremely well. And like I've done it first, so I know it works. So I'm not just, talking to talk. I do have an income store as well in like the travel industry. And like the first, I would say 2 months or 3 months or something like that, like it did like $45,000. Like I was not doing any follow-up. I wasn't focusing on it at all, but it still did 45,000 in sales. And like in the product is like $10. So like a lot of them were sold.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it wasn't even like a high ticket thing. Like it was like $10-15. So it was $45,000, 2 months without no follow up, no retargeting, no Facebook ads, no anything, and just pushing traffic from Instagram. It's it's one of those things like, okay, this thing's gonna take off, and now I'm gonna build a brand out of it. But Instagram is powerful. There's a huge traffic source for free, organic. People are on it. If you see, for example, if you go out and you look at people in the mall or look people like in restaurants, stuff like that, all of them. Every single one of them is scrolling on Instagram. Like, you see it. Like, you see kids, you see adults, you see everybody on Instagram. So your target audience is probably on Instagram, and you got to get on it. If you want to, let's say, build a digital real estate, because that's another thing. You're building your digital real estate that's gonna be with you long term, right? As Facebook at the CPM goes like off the roof, you gotta like find a different traffic source. And Instagram right now is organic and powerful, but maybe like, for example, in a few years, your follower amount is gonna like triple in value. Like I would say, let's say 2 years ago, there was no Instagram stories. So just by rolling the Instagram stories feature, your like the value per follower just doubled. Why? Because you have another way of contacting them, another way of engaging with them, another way to get in front of their face, to get their attention, to sell them, right? Now on this store, you can also have the swipe up feature. And I love them. Like, by the way, the swipe up feature, I think is like the most genius thing anybody could have ever done. And Snapchat, like, slacked on it, like they slept, and this Instagram took over, right?
Yeah.
So I love them. I love the swipe up thingy on Instagram. Like, so, it's you have different outlets and different things like Instagram Live, stories, the normal post. Now I'm also like I'm developing a software like with chatbots on the actual Instagram DMs, where like say people say certain keywords, like you send them like a message, like kind of like like an automation or CRM, quote unquote, but on Instagram itself. So there's a lot of stuff you can do on Instagram, and community development is I would say the most powerful thing, because your brand will get to be known, liked, and trusted by your audience, and they're going to buy from you.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And even if you have a local business, even let's say you're a dentist, I know dentists that use Instagram. People love white teeth, and people love smiling as well. So if you put amazing smiles and give valuable tips on how to keep your teeth white, and not the horrible side of things, the dentists that they're like Freddy Krueger or like Saw, torturing your teeth. Like, don't put that thing there. Put the nice thing. Oh, whitening, like teeth whitening. Look, that's what you need. And that's how you get, bring customers in. And I don't know, maybe you offer free teeth whitening, and then you upsell them in the back end, braces or I don't know. I don't know what else dentists do, but
yeah, no, I mean, it's like, it's infinite, like what you can do. And it's just this incredible tool that we've, only had for so many years. It's amazing. But I think that you've just, have proven in this whole interview how valuable it is, and how much you should absolutely be leveraging it, no matter what industry or business you're in. Josue, where can people find more information about you or connect with you?
Yeah, sure thing. So ironically, like, don't message me on Instagram.
Whatever you do.
Because I probably won't respond because I have way too many accounts, and all my notifications are turned off on my phone. Like, I cannot deal with them. I wouldn't get anything done in a day if I had. So I have, for example, accounts and like the biggest account, it's World of Artists, has 2.2 million. That account is actually followed by Kobe Bryant, Ronda Rousey, Usher. So I have that account, Elation Fitness, for example, Explorer as well. Explorer is a travel page. Caballero de la Mafia, it's a kind of Spanish. Elation Football, Elation Fitness. So I have all over the place. So don't message me on Instagram. The best way I would say is Facebook. I'm always active on Facebook. So if people just look my name up, Josue Pena, they'll find me. We do have a Facebook group that's free. I jump there all the time. It's called Collective Entrepreneurs Online, or if you just type CEO, it should pop up as well. And on YouTube, I'm also on YouTube. It's called Online CEOs. My company, my brand is called Online CEOs. So they go there as well. They should be able to find something. And I should give something for free to your audience as well. So if they go to crushingInstagram.com or igboss.com, you should be able to get a free blueprint on how to get your first 100,000 followers. It's called Crushing on Instagram, and then a webinar or a training. It depends. Right now it's live, so if you go to igboss.com, there should be a waiting list. But as a live, we do live masterclasses and trainings as well, so people can get there too. So
that's,
and by the way,
awesome.
And I should have said this at the beginning or somewhere, but if you haven't, if you're thinking about Instagram as overwhelming, just know this: you can make money on Instagram without having an Instagram account. And I shouldn't be saying this as the Instagram guy, but it's true. You can make money on Instagram without having an Instagram account. It's just about influencer marketing, which is so underpriced. It's ridiculous. I got, for example, with a client in the fitness industry, I got a reach of 11.4 million for $500.
Wow.
So, and obviously, I can leverage a lot of stuff in terms of getting prices and deals and stuff. But influencer marketing is so powerful and so underutilized. is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I sometimes feel bad for the influencer. I'm like, really? You're charging this amount? Like, I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm ripping off. Like, but then again, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's your price. That's what I'm going to pay you.
Right.
You know? And so, like Instagram is powerful and there's so many ways to utilize it. So,
well, we will have links to all of that on our blog post and on the show notes, your Facebook page, the group, the free. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. A blueprint to your first 100,000 followers. Yes, please. So so amazing. You're just awesome. I love your energy. I love all that you're doing. Your story is wicked cool. I'm hoping that when you hit 7 figures, you're going to come back on the show and we'll talk about that.
All right. I'll be more than happy to.
I know you're going to be there. I know you're going to be there super soon. So Josue, thank you so much. This was incredibly valuable.
All right. Thank you for having me. Like I said, it's really an honor. And hopefully I over-delivered. So.
Yes, absolutely. You sure did. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's Get Genius. You can learn more about The Draw Shop at www.thedrawshop.com, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Your home for kick-butt custom whiteboard marketing videos. Your ideas come to life. Thanks for listening. Please share, comment, and make any suggestions for future Genius guests.